We still have all of this to do. Pharaoh. Pero is the glyph for Pharaoh.
Oh my God.
Right there is Pharaoh. Oh, we still have so far to go, Lami.
Yes, it's so far.
Oh my God, oh my God.
Are you okay?
Oh my God.
This is Sinai, a peninsula of land between Egypt and the Red Sea. For the religious, Sinai is most well known for the story of Moses. However, Sinai has been inhabited by the ancient Egyptians since the pre-dynastic period, over 6,000 years ago. Today, this arid landscape is home to the Egyptian Bedouin people who eke out a living in a place that has almost no vegetation and even less rain. However, this region has a place that was very important to the Pharaohs, a place that was sacred to one goddess in particular, the temple at Serabit El Khadim, dedicated to the goddess Hathor, or more specifically, Hathor, the Lady of Turquoise. For you see, this area was home to the precious sky blue stone. Hathor may be a fairly unknown goddess to those who aren't interested in Egyptian history compared to others. Yet, to the ancient Egyptians, she was probably one of the most revered deities of all time, sometimes even eclipsing the great goddess Isis. And in later periods, the goddesses were even combined to create one ultimate icon. Hathor was linked to many aspects: love, beauty, music, dance, and protection. When the god Horus was feuding with his uncle Set, trying to avenge the murder of his father Osiris, the devious Set was able to stab out one of Horus's eyes during one of their many battles. The goddess Hathor then crafted a new eye for Horus, an eye which she infused her powers into to always protect Horus. Eventually, Horus avenged his father's murder by defeating Set and becoming king of the land of Egypt. He then married Hathor, and thus each king and queen to rule Egypt thereafter were to be seen as the reincarnation of both Hathor and Horus. The site of Serabit El Khadim was used for thousands of years to mine copper and the sacred stone linked to the protective powers of Hathor, turquoise. This stone was used to decorate furniture, used in paints, but most importantly, to make exceptional jewelry. Apart from decorating the living, turquoise also decorated the dead. On many death masks, we can find turquoise inlays around the neck. It was out here in this extreme, remote site that some of the stones were mined to decorate one of the most famous pieces of ancient Egyptian art ever, the golden death mask of Pharaoh Tutankhamun. The ancients were so fascinated by the stones of Hathor that they invented the blue faience as a way to imitate the blue color for jewels, statues, and even burial equipment, like the beaded net dress that linked the dead to Hathor. But why would a goddess who was there to celebrate the joy of life be connected to the dead? In the New Kingdom, in some cases, Hathor becomes the Lady of the West, replacing the role of Anubis to lead you through the journey into the afterlife. And thus, if you had some turquoise with you, it would indicate to Hathor that you worshipped her in life, and thus she would be more inclined to help you reach heaven. My name is Curtis Ryan Woodside. I'm a filmmaker and Egyptologist. For years now, I have been fascinated with Serabit El Khadim, its remoteness from any form of modern life, and the secrets it may hold about the ancient Egyptian history. Yet this place is so remote that most Egyptologists have never been there, and the recording and the study of this place is remarkably minuscule. Now I am setting out on an expedition to reach the Temple of Hathor and the turquoise mines, hiking up the 850-meter or the 2,788-foot-high mountain in Sinai to finally reveal the many secrets of this place and to track down the earliest beginnings of our modern alphabet, the script known as Proto-Sinaitic. Little did I know that this would be one of the most challenging and dangerous expeditions of my life. Join me as we search for the secrets of the Lady of Turquoise in Sinai. It's going to be quite the adventure. Exploring these ancient techniques, stories, and places always reminds me that civilization didn't just spring into being, it was built, layer by layer, from glassblowers in Venice to blacksmiths forging iron and herbalists healing wounds. It took centuries of know-how, which got me thinking, what if all this knowledge vanished tomorrow? Would we know how to rebuild? That's when I discovered the ultimate guide to rebuilding civilization. It's like a master key to human innovation. It doesn't just start with, here's how to build a fire. It shows you how to reconstruct plumbing, glass, forging, and even basic medicine. Everything from the raw earth to working society again. It felt surreal flipping through it. I realized this book is more than just history. It's potential. If you're passionate about culture, craftsmanship, or even just imagining the future, this book gives you the know-how, down to the details. I've placed a link below. Use my code Woodside10 to get 10% off, only until the 3rd of August. Don't just wait for collapse. Explore it out of curiosity, inspiration, or just the sheer joy of seeing how humanity created stuff that mattered. Our journey starts early morning in Giza. We take a 380-kilometer drive over 6 hours to reach Serabit El Khadim. When you see a shop like this along the road, because it is so remote, it is important to stop and stock up on the essentials. After a few hours, we reach Oyun Musa, which is a security checkpoint between Egypt and Sinai.
We are on our way to Sinai. We've just crossed the Suez Canal. So we are now actually in Sinai, and we are going to Serabit El Khadim.
Yes.
So I have Lami with me. I have Saber with me. I've been traveling with Lami for 9 years now.
Yes, 9 years of fun and knowledge and music and meet intelligent and idiots as well.
Adventures.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mashi.
Doesn't matter how long it take.
Yalla.
Let's go.
It's shocking how crossing from just one area to the next gives you a completely new and different landscape. You'll be hard-pushed to find another car along this road. Though after a couple of hours, these smooth tar roads will soon be ending, and we'll have a more rough terrain.
Saber knows the roads in desert very well, so he will have U-turn, and we use the Madag. Madag, it's mean a very difficult road with no asphalt. So we will be in the mountains for like 1 hour, like 30 kilometers, drive in very difficult road. Do you see this car there? Come from this road, but it's Toyota, like they have like Hilux, very easy for it. Bedouin, they are Bedouin. Anyone in a car like that, Bedouin, 90%. So, yeah, Kabir, طلعنا عليك.
It's hard to believe that there are thousands of Bedouin people living throughout Sinai, living in very harsh conditions, some even worse than these landscapes we're passing now. It's been their way of life for thousands of years.
Great, Saber.
Saber lets the air pressure out of the tires as we now approach a very deteriorated, old tar road.
Maya man fadlak.
هنا.
How do I open this thing? There we go.
شكرا. عفوا. There's just something about this deserted place that is so picturesque. Finally, we found our Bedouin hosts that we'll be camping with for the night.
Yeah, but, oh, this is Turtle Mountain. You see? It seems like turtle.
The symbol of the turtle was worshipped even as far back as King Narmer during the First Dynasty in 3100 BC. In 1906, a cylinder seal with the name of Pharaoh Narmer showing a turtle was found. Camels are some of my favorite animals, and contrary to the myth, they have been living in Egypt for thousands of years since pharaonic times, especially here in the wilds of Sinai.
Almost there.
After 6 hours, we finally reached our Bedouin camp, and I was quite surprised it had quite a few more mud cons than I was expecting. We have time for just a little relax before the big expedition begins.
Cheers, Amudir.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, Sabit.
We start climbing from we take the car to drive a little bit in the sand.
Okay.
It's the short way to go up.
Yeah.
And then we see the temple. Right. Ahmed, Abdullah.
Up we go.
Yalla bina.
For now, we say goodbye to the Land Cruiser as they leave us with our 9-year-old guide to go up the mountain. My sense of anticipation is building, thinking about going up the steep cliffs of this 850-meter mountain.
Walk up the mountain to get to the temple of Hathor here at Serabit El Khadim. It's really hot. It's really dry. There's nothing around. Let's hope we make it.
Too hot. We have a very young guy. He's a guide. The Bedouin know each inch of their land, but I trust him. He seems intelligent from half his luck.
Serabit El Khadim was discovered in 1162 by Danish explorer Carsten Niebuhr. He was told about the site by the local Bedouin people, who then called the site Garabe. Can you just imagine the arduous task taken on by Carsten Niebuhr and his team to come and see this unexplored place 863 years ago? I've been preparing for this for months, as mountain hiking and dangling on the edge of cliffs are not really my thing.
Okay.
You know, Curtis, I'm
Yeah.
very stupid to wear dresses like that.
I know, look at your shoes.
Oh my God, my shoes and my band.
Oh my God. We have to go up all the way there. This is not fun. And I feel real empathy for the ancient workers that had to come here. In the middle of nowhere, no water, no food, all to get turquoise for the pharaoh.
So far, it's been a gradual ascent, but now the dangerous part begins, and the camera just doesn't capture the steepness of this mountain.
You know, I'm starting to understand why less and less people come to this temple. It's not easy. Ah.
Really, I feel I'm so stupid. Cannot get like a much better dress. I feel like the most stupid guy in the world. I'm suffering.
Okay. You put the itinerary.
Me, but I not interfere. You know how to read hieroglyphs. You know the sculpture in Egypt. You know the symbols. I don't interfere. It's
This is your idea.
We have been like walking for 1 hour on the land and like half hour on the mountain. I didn't even dress up. Really?
I blame you.
No, blame yourself, please.
Although the regret soon wears off as we have almost reached the summit. Some of this landscape might seem familiar to you. That is because Cecil B. DeMille, the film director, and actor Charlton Heston came to Sinai in the 1950s to film some of the scenes for the Ten Commandments, and one of the places they visited was this area. Before we reach the summit, we see a particular plant. This plant is called the elbus, and it is known as the burning bush of Moses, being able to live in extreme arid conditions. It also contains a sap which is self-combusting with the correct amount of heat, and the fumes from this sap can cause hallucinations. After the discovery by Castanhiber in 1162, this site became quite the sensation. However, many Egyptologists did not dare to make the trip. With the newly deciphered hieroglyphs, this site would take on a new meaning. Englishman David Roberts came here in 1839.
After 2.5 hours up the mountain, we are here at Serabit El Khadim, and we are greeted by the beautiful face of the goddess of this place, Hathor. But Hathor, I need 5 minutes.
Hathor, the beautiful goddess of this mountain, lies just a few meters away from the main temple itself. She is here because a couple of years ago, a man from a country north of Sinai decided he wanted this piece for his own collection. He sent in a helicopter to try and lift it. However, they only moved it a few meters. Luckily, being intercepted by the Egyptian government, his entire operation ended in a failure.
Finally, after 2.5 hours climbing the mountain, I found Hathor, the goddess of this place, was human face and cow's ears, and we can read the name of Neb-Mitra, my favorite pharaoh, Amenhotep III.
And this pile of rubble is the Temple of Hathor at Serabit El Khadim. The name means the columns of the servants. The original name comes from the Ottoman word garabe, which means strange. The name was changed because of inscriptions here linking this site to Semitic peoples and falsely linking it to the biblical people of the Exodus. The temple was then excavated in 1905 by Sir Flinders Petrie. Apart from documenting over 30 Proto-Sinaitic inscriptions, he found many incredible objects, including one of my favorites.
A little bust, exactly like this. This is a cast, obviously. But this little bust is of Queen T, the mother of Akhenaten. And it was a tiny little bust like this same bust, which is now in the Cairo Museum. But it was found here at Serabit El Khadim. And, you know, it's amazing to think that Queen T, her husband, Pharaoh Amenhotep III, mined so much turquoise for her to have. And she had this votive statue placed here at the temple. She has 2 cobras on her forehead, showing her importance. Her little name inscribed above. And, you know, I think it's great to excavate and find things and put them in museums for people to see. But I might just leave Queen T here, you know, bring her back to the place where this little one was found. Actually, I'm going to take her with me because I don't want to confuse some archaeologist in about 10 years' time. This is where we are, Serabit El Khadim. Now, if you look here, we have arrived from this smaller side, and all of these are smaller chambers going through to the main part of the temple, and all the way back we come to the cave of Hathor and the Pharaohs, where the gods of this area were worshipped. Now we have a lot of interesting things that were found here, particularly relating to Proto-Sinaitic language. We have this sphinx believed to be Akhenaten. It says place of Hathor, Merit, and then underneath we have Proto-Sinaitic. Proto-Sinaitic is one of the oldest forms that we have of the alphabet. It started around the Middle Kingdom, around 1900 BC, during the reign of Sesostris III. And this language was developed by the Canaanites and the Assyrians that were living here, and was taken away by the Phoenicians and given to Greece. And some of that language has been adapted into our now alphabet that we use. So actually the origins of the alphabet come from this place right here. Now, this is also a bust of Queen T that was discovered. We can see the name of the queen up here. Now, she was connected to the goddess Hathor, which is why we have her here. This comes from a later period during the reign of Ramses II. We have Hathor depicted here, found in the cave of Hathor. Next, this is probably the most interesting. It is a scribal statue, and it has Proto-Sinaitic in here. The lady, her name is Baalt, and it says the lady has died, and it's giving a prayer to the god of the Assyrians, which is shown as a man with a fish body and a human head. And actually we can see over here, here's one of these type of scribal statues right here. Although this one is quite damaged, we can still see the hands up here. So this would have been something like this. And from the side we can see more prayers to this Assyrian god in a very strange mix of Egyptian hieroglyphs and a Semitic language. Also found here is Ramses II's daughter, Bintanath. And Bintanath is a Semitic name because the goddess Anath that we see here, this goddess comes from, the Semitic peoples. So that's why Ramses had himself and his daughter depicted in this place in Sinai. These are some of the copper and wooden tools that were found here at Serabit El Khadim. It's incredible to think that this is how the men here mined the turquoise, with simple tools like this. And this is currently in the British Museum. So there's so many interesting things from this area. And we know that Serabit El Khadim comes from as far back as the 4th dynasty. A broken statue of a falcon has been found here with the name of Snefru, although he has his titles included in his name. So he's Nefer Neter, Neb Tawi Sen Neferu. So the beautiful God, the Lord of the two lands, Snefru. And this is the father of the man that built the Great Pyramid. And he came here and put his mark all those thousands of years ago, 2900 BC. And here is Pharaoh Snefru showing his power over Canaanite enemies. We can see him here smiting the Canaanite man with his name here, Snefru, and his golden Horus name. And all of this comes from such an arid and remote place. All of this just for some beautiful blue stones and a little bit of copper.
Many of the men working here were definitely of Phoenician and Canaanite origin. The site is littered in hieroglyphic inscriptions, yet this one is Proto-Sinaitic, clearly different. During Egypt's 12th dynasty, there was a large population of foreigners living in the country, and many of these foreigners, believed to be of Semitic origin, worked and mined here at Serabit El Khadim. And it is clear that they took Egyptian hieroglyphs and mixed them with their own language to create Proto-Sinaitic. This language spread through the trade done by the Phoenicians throughout the Mediterranean, eventually reaching Greece and forming the alphabet that we use today. The oldest roots of Proto-Sinaitic go back to the 12th dynasty during the reign of Pharaoh Amenemhat III around 1900 BC at Wadi Hol. This stela was erected by Horwera, the treasurer of Pharaoh Amenemhat III. Here he explains that in year 6 of Amenemhat III's reign, he and his men were sent to mine turquoise in the summer, which was unusual, as usually the men were sent in winter. And boy, did those workers come back with some beautiful blue stones. For you see, in the 12th dynasty, in the reign of Pharaoh Amenemhat III, some of the most exquisite jewelry has been crafted in this period, all featuring stones of turquoise coming from Serabit El Khadim. Serabit was not only the seasonal home of these miners, it was also the home of many priests and noblemen sent to do the work of the pharaoh. This scene shows a visual representation of a nobleman burning incense before the god Khnum. Here, a finely dressed, bald-headed priest waves a feather fan in front of the name of Pharaoh Ramses II. Each priest, miner, and nobleman that came to this place wanted to leave their mark, erecting steles or leaving rock inscriptions, since arriving to this mountain must have been unimaginably difficult. And in the day, to seek refuge from the intense heat, many of these men and priests would come to the covered Temple of Hathor. The deity connected to this mountain, the Lady of Turquoise, is shown many times here, but here we see her in the form of a cow. The female cow is seen as a soft, nurturing, and protecting animal, and thus Hathor sometimes is even shown with the face of a woman and the ears of a cow. In the form of a cow, she takes on the form of a celestial deity, protecting the sun as it sets. Hathor takes on many forms and has many titles, but one of my favorite texts from here says, "She whose rays illuminate the whole world." Although this is the most special title of all, here Hathor is named as the Lady of Mefkat, or the Lady of Turquoise. Mefkat did not only refer to turquoise, it referred to any precious blue stone that was linked to the goddess. Many other deities make an appearance in the land of Hathor. Here we have Ptah, the god of the craftsmen and also healing. In the New Kingdom, especially around the reign of Ramses II, we see Amun-Min appearing here as well. Here is the lower half of Amun-Min, with the lower phallic features drawn in, which is quite unusual. He was the god of strength and the god of virility and fertility. Unlike other temples in Egypt, we know that this one was open to anybody, as inside there are many basins for cleaning the body before entering the sanctuary. But did the pharaohs ever make the journey to the mountain of Hathor?
From the names we found here as a graffiti, Amenhotep III, Hatshepsut, Thutmose III, Shishang, Ramses II, all of these guys or all of these kings, they were like builders. So they care a lot about mining in Sinai, and to reflect kind of authority, kind of wealth, kind of caring about buildings in Egypt. Because to send the workers here to extract turquoise and copper, something not easy. So you have to support these workers or supply them with water, with guards, with food. So I think it's a mark of the greatness of those pharaohs who mentioned their names here and everywhere.
We know that not all pharaohs came to this site, but we do know that some made the pilgrimage, even with their queens. By year 12, in 1267 BC of Ramses II's reign, he came here with his wife Nefertari. Nefertari, seen wearing the crown of Hathor, shaking two musical instruments, sistrums, with the face of Hathor on it, with her husband Ramses in front. They are shown giving offerings on their visit to Serabit. This taking place during a period where Ramses visited almost the whole country. Many years later, Ramses IV created himself a mortuary temple here. This could be him and his wife, however the name appears to have been changed. This could in fact be Pharaoh Horemheb with his wife Mutnujmet, the sister of Nefertiti. The pharaoh is the earthly reincarnation of the god Horus on earth. Horus was married to Hathor, and thus the pharaoh and the queen were Horus and Hathor on earth. That is why many pharaohs came here to leave their offerings to Hathor, and by doing so ensuring that both of these gods would know their piety and reward them. Pinchasi erected this stela for Pharaoh Amenhotep III in year 36 of his reign. Here Amenhotep III is shown offering to the god Sopdu. Amenhotep and Queen T came here to collect turquoise to celebrate their third jubilee. Their son Akhenaten also features here. The name of the Aten is on the walls, and there is a stela showing the sun rays coming down, with the priests bowing before it with their heads in the dirt, something that only happened during Akhenaten's reign. Pharaoh Thutmose III ruled some many decades before that of Akhenaten. He too left his mark here. At the Grand Egyptian Museum, the world's largest museum dedicated to one civilization, here we find one object in particular from the reign of Hatshepsut. This wall panel comes all the way from Serabit El Khadim in Sinai. On the left is Hathor being offered an ankh by a pharaoh. Next to this pharaoh is Pharaoh Hatshepsut with her name written out, Ma'et Kara, an inscription that proves that Thutmose III on the left and Hatshepsut on the right had a co-regency. Hatshepsut led many expeditions out of Egypt, one in particular to the land of Punt. She even came here to Serabit El Khadim and left her mark in the sanctuary.
As we go into the back here at Serabit El Khadim, with all these beautiful stela just lying around, I mean, we have to walk over the ancient stones to get in. But this is the sacred cave of Hathor. And you know what I find so interesting about this cave? At the back would have been the statue which has now been moved of the goddess. We have the offering table. We even here have an inscription of the god's wife, Amun Em Hat. So this is actually coming from the 12th dynasty, this over here, of Pharaoh Amun-Imhat. So we have all these thousands of years inside this little cave. We have the offerings. And this is where the people who lived in this remote place would have come to worship the goddess that they called the Lady of Turquoise, the lady that they were mining the turquoise on behalf of for the Pharaoh. It's a sad feeling and a happy feeling that to know that they could come in here and get refuge from the sun by coming and talking to the goddess Hathor.
Inside the sanctuary is where we will find a very unique scene of a pharaoh with a unique god. This tells us just how important one pharaoh was in particular.
Outside the cave of Hathor here at Serabit El Khadim, we have this very intriguing stela. We see this pharaoh over here, shown quite regal, the blue crown, the skirt. This would appear to be a man, but this is not a man. This is Pharaoh Hatshepsut. And her name is here, Ma'at Kara, in the cartouche. And she's giving an offering of an incense cone to a very interesting goddess. We can tell here that this is a gift to the goddess, but the goddess's name here is Sara Meri, daughter of the sun, the happy one. And Sarah would usually be referred to as, you know, the child, the son, or the daughter of the god Ra, which is reserved for the pharaoh. So it would appear that this goddess here might in fact be Hatshepsut, who has deified herself, like we see many other pharaohs doing.
To the right of Hathor's cave is a sanctuary dedicated to the god Sopdu. He was the protector of the eastern borders. This place, left in ruin, contains so many secrets and so many unanswered questions. Although the majority of the temple extensions come from the New Kingdom, it can be traced as far back as the 4th dynasty. Lined with columns, this shrine was built by Pharaoh Snefru, his name very clearly on the wall. Yet behind Pharaoh Snefru is a very interesting figure. This is a young prince, and this is possibly Pharaoh Khufu, the builder of the Great Pyramid. Yet if this was built before the death of Ra-Hotep, this could in fact show Ra-Hotep as the crowned prince and the then successor to Pharaoh Snefru. And if that was Prince Khufu, that is the only wall image that we have of his face remaining. Snefru ruled Egypt around 2600 BC. Here we see Snefru standing among the gods, including Sopdu. Some Egyptologists suggest that this scene was dedicated to Snefru in the 12th dynasty, yet there's no evidence of this. Snefru had much turquoise mined here, and we know that he even gave some turquoise jewelry to his wife, Queen Heteperes, for which Snefru thanked Hathor. It feels almost like a dream that I've come here and seen such a beautiful place. But now we have to get back, and I'm still yet to find the Proto-Sinaitic inscriptions.
Well, after such a long hike up to get here to Serabit El Khadim, now we have to face the walk down the hill again. But unfortunately, the sun is going down, so this is going to be quite the adventure.
We are isolated in the middle of nowhere. The nearest hospital is over 50 kilometers away. I'm so happy we have Abdullah.
Abdullah, our guide, is the youngest guide I have in my life. He's an amazing guy. He's a Bedouin from Sinai.
Very good guy.
Very good, very polite, amazing.
And so the 3-hour trek begins. Walking along the same paths that the ancients used to reach here, we see some of the remnants of the temple building. It is very refreshing to be in a place that is so silent, only the sound of nature. I know Serabit El Khadim is not Mount Everest, but for me, it is a great accomplishment that I've been able to do this. It's probably one of the biggest moments of my life. It might sound a little melodramatic, but at one point I thought I would never be able to even get up here. For the past few years, I've struggled so much with problems with my back, with not being able to walk for weeks, having to inject myself with muscle relaxants, having problems with my vocal cords. All of this, I thought I would never be able to accomplish this. So for me, it is a great sense of accomplishment. And it is definitely something that will stay with me for the rest of my life. As the sunset illuminates the sky with gold, it reminds me of the story of Hathor protecting the sun as it sets. They believed that as the sun sets, the darkness hid many terrifying things. The sun god Ra faced many challenges, stopping him from rising the next day. Out here, the darkness is so dark, it is unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Take care, maybe there's some snakes.
Yeah, they like to go under the rocks at night to hold the heat from the day.
Oh my God, I want to go camp now. There's also, I hear there's some wolves here in Sinai.
Wolves, jackals, and maybe hyenas now.
Aha.
There's the road.
Aha.
This way.
We should blame this guy who brought us here. What's his name?
I don't know the guy. I don't know his name.
Yes, his name starts by C
Ah,
and end by S. Oh
never
my.
heard of him.
Hi.
La Inglés. Sabat,
Yes,
watch your steps.
thank you.
Tomorrow there's nothing like this.
Nothing like this.
Yeah, himself.
Who made the stairs?
It's a very easy experience for the tourists.
No, the young guys.
No, I was thinking the 80-year-olds. We might need help here. Let me.
Yeah, my leg. Habibi.
The steps are also loose.
My leg.
Let's go, Sabat.
Okay.
This is an arduous task, going down the mountain, and it's made even more perilous in the dark. Yet, we forget about this, as now we are on the search for Proto-Sinaitic. But it seems the dark will make it more difficult to find.
Walking at night, we've even seen here a cartouche. We can see the S sign and a seated woman. Here is graffiti. It's incredible. And right here, if I can climb up to the back, here, where is it? The snake, the horned viper, the F and T. We still have all of this to do.
Will not die in decent way if a snake bite me and I can't find a vaccine.
Finally, after 2 hours of walking, we have found what we've been looking for.
Throughout this valley, we will find carvings. We see the boat over here. We can see the gazelle. But here we have Proto-Sinaitic, the script written over here. It's very difficult to make out right now, but it's there. There's even more. This is the clearest. This is what we came here for. Proto-Sinaitic. And look, up there we have the goats from this region. We have a crocodile, snake, a circle. These are hieroglyphs, but they are not correct. Some of them are not ancient Egyptian glyphs. This is the origin of the alphabet that the Phoenicians took from ancient Egypt. All along here. Look, this means place. Just people practicing their scripts. Look, this means scribe. These three mean scribe. And then
Yes, a scribe, yeah.
Pet Neter could be his name. This is the man seated, and he's a scribe. And he left his mark here. The ankh, the fish, the stars. All of this. And this is where our modern alphabet
Come from.
was born. Yeah, comes from here. Wow, look, Min. Min, and it's Nefer Nesut. You see there? Nefer Nesut on Min. All of the, look. Second intermediate period.
Oh my God.
Second intermediate period. Place of Hathor.
How we know it's second intermediate period?
From the style, you can tell it's very badly made compared to everything else. And it doesn't have the chipping like these. It's more smooth. This is from just after Senusert III. Look at this, Nami. All the people coming here, leaving their mark. Look, more Proto-Sinaitic. You can see the difference between here
And
and
here, yes,
hieroglyphs.
it's more advanced. This one more advanced. This one very primitive.
This is from the beginning of this site.
Meriru, Nitru, Sin.
Sin. Pitahu M. Hotep. M. Hotep.
Imhotep, yeah.
So they even knew M. Hotep here.
Yeah. And another graffiti over there.
Gazelles.
They call that, the Bedouin called that the ships.
The ships.
So the guy, when he called his father, he kept coming to me at the ship's point.
Ah.
Yeah.
Look.
Because these ships.
An ostrich.
Gazal, Saber, look at this.
Look at the
I think it's from different eras.
different dynasties.
Hundreds of years. Meri Neb Imira or F. Imira?
Amun Iset. Pharaoh. Pero is the glyph for Pharaoh.
Oh my God.
Right there is Pharaoh.
We are
So much.
2025 and we do a lot of this for dispatch. We have 4x4, we have Toyota, we have water, we have iPhone, and we suffered. What about these people who lived here since thousands of years?
I feel so bad for these guys.
No, I feel sympathy with them. I feel how great they were to come such a place with all of these difficulties.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We've seen what we came for, but we still have to get back to camp.
Oh, we still have so far to go, Lami.
Yes, it's so far. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Are you okay?
I'm okay, Lami. These stones are cursed. We have to go.
Yes, let's go, let's go. I don't like to stay here anymore. That's it.
After 3 hours up and down Serabit El Khadim, I am so ready to sit down and enjoy a Bedouin meal. Ra is victorious, and the sun lives to rise another day. Now it is time to leave beautiful Sinai behind.
You can imagine we came all of this distance in one day from Sinai up to Western Desert, like 8-hour drive.
Excited, Lami?
Yes. Super excited.
Welcome.
With the thoughts of Serabit El Khadim and the mountain of Hathor in Sinai still fresh in my mind, I am so excited to see what the future has in store. So for now, I move on to my next adventure. Where that is? Well, you will just have to wait and see.